Hey, so sorry if you can hear my fan. I got a fan that's for when I sleep, and it's always on in my room. Um, Plus the whole tinnitus thing, I like to have sound. But real quick, just wondering. I know this is not some kind of big channel thing, but it seems like people want to subscribe, so I should probably ask. I mean, I'm probably gonna do it anyways and upload it, but would anybody be interested if because I do have two cameras and a tripod, and I do have some stuff I have access to. Would anybody be interested if I did an interview with my grandfather, who was a Marine in Korea, and he was sent over after the Battle of the Chosin Reservoir. He was sent over in the spring because of all the Marines that were killed. He was sent over to replace them, and actually he was in the Battle of Punch Bowl, so he did see some combat in Korea, and does have some interesting stories. Does have some insight, and he is politically active still. Um, not like going out in demonstrations, but he knows what's going on politically. He's a really interesting guy, and I'm glad that I know him and that he's my grandfather. But would you guys be interested in maybe hearing some of the stuff? This came to mind because I'm listening to Into the Fire, and I was listening to Purple Heart, and he is a Purple Heart recipient, so I thought it'd be kind of cool if anybody wanted to listen, see it. Um, Also, my I have an uncle who is in the Marines in Vietnam, and he was forward recon or something, something. Basically, he was a recon soldier in the front lines. Again, front lines were kind of muddied in that war, but he was really close to the front and with the action, and could basically figure out where mortars were supposed to land and whatnot. He has some very interesting stories from Vietnam as well, and I was just wondering, would anybody be interested? Also, funny. Sorry, I'm kind of I got a lung thing going on. Also, funny little tidbit. I have a great relative who was in the Civil War, and he on one side of the family, I did have, I think, well, at least one Confederate soldier on somewhere deep in my history. But we did actually have a family member who we actually, I think we have his sword somewhere in our family, but he was on a northern ship, like one of the not an ironclad, but he was he was on board one of the Union ships during the Civil War, and we have a commemorative sword of his that he got from back then. I know I've held it and seen it, but I don't know who has it now. We also, I believe, we had a relative in the Spanish, I mean not the Spanish, the Filipino American, the American War in the Philippines. When we were over there screwing around, I believe we had a relative in that too. But yeah, anyways, if anybody would be interested in those two interviews with my grandfather and my uncle, let me know. I'll probably do it anyways, but it's even cooler knowing that somebody has an interest.